Hi Year 5, it's Mrs Gibbons here. Hope you're all well. Okay, so today in maths we are going to do a little bit of consolidation of our addition and subtraction skills when solving word problems. So one handy way of solving word problems is to use the rucksack method. So that means we read the question and we think to ourselves, what is the important information? I would underline that in the question so that you're sort of highlighting the important key facts. And then you think to yourself, do I understand the question? What am I being asked to find out? Then you choose your correct method. So do I need to do an addition, for example, or a subtraction? Then you solve the problem, making sure you follow the steps. So some of these questions may involve more than one step. So think carefully, how am I going to solve the problem? Then you answer your question, think to yourself, have I worked out what I was meant to work out? And then check your answer. And a good way of checking is to use the inverse to check you're working out, so doing the opposite operation. Okay, so I'm going to go over with you a couple of examples before you get started on your own questions. So the first one then is, in January, 47,306 people visit the swimming pool. So I think that's quite key, that bit of info, so I'm just going to underline that. In June, the number of visitors increases by 24,465. How many people visit in June? So I know that this number has increased in June by 24,465. So to work out how many people visited, I need to do an addition. So we're just using normal column addition. So obviously having it in columns allows us to focus on one column of numbers at a time. So we always start with our lowest number, lowest value. So we start with the ones column. So 6 plus 5 is 11. Now, because I've got 10 or more in that column, I can perform an exchange. So I can exchange 10 ones for 1 10. So I'm going to put my 10 ones there for 1 10. And so that's 11. Right, in my tens column then, 0 plus 6 plus that 1 is 7. In my hundreds column, 3 hundreds plus 4 hundreds, 700. My thousands, 7 plus 4. Again, we're going to do an exchange then, carry that 1 over, and then 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7, so that's 70,000. So 71,771. So in January, there were 47,306. That number increased by 24,465 in June, which meant 71,771 people visited in June. Now, if you wanted to check that your answer was correct, you could do the inverse. So I'll just write that as quickly as I can. I'm not very good with these pens. So the inverse is doing the opposite. So I'd start off with 71,771, sorry. Then I would subtract 24,000, oh gosh, 465. And if I've worked it out correctly, I need to practice using this pen, I think. If I've worked out correctly, the answer here would be 47,306. So it's a really good idea to use the inverse to check that you've done that accurately. Okay, next question. Oops. Okay, a gallery had 10,325 visitors in September. In June, they had 25,630 visitors. How many more people visited the gallery in June than in September? So I know more people visited in June than in September, and I've been asked to find out how many more people visited the gallery in June. So I think I need to do a subtraction. Okay, so column subtraction, so we start with our ones. I can't take away 5 from 0 because 0 is a smaller number, so I'm going to have to do an exchange and borrow a 10 from the tens column. Okay, so 10 subtract 5 is 5. 2 subtract 2 is 0. 6 subtract 3 is 3. 5, subtract 0 is obviously 5. And 2 subtract 1 is 1. So in June, in June, 15,305 more people visited the gallery than visited in September. Okay, and again, if you wanted to check your answer, you could do the inverse operation to just double check that you got that correct. Okay, now this one is going to be a multi-step question. There's more than one step to this. So I've read it through and I've underlined the key information. So Adele sold 12,036 albums on Saturday. She sold 36,452 on Sunday. During the week, so we're talking about Monday to Friday, she sold 45,320 albums. How many more albums did she sell at the weekend? So I need to work out how many albums sold at the weekend so that I can then work out how many more sold at the weekend than in the week. So to work out how many albums she sold at the weekend, my first step is going to be to add together the album sales from Saturday with the album sales from Sunday. So again, normal column addition. So 6 plus 2 is 8 ones. 3 plus 5, that's 80, 8 tens. 0 plus 4 is 4 in my hundreds column. 2 plus 6 is 8. And 1 plus 3 is 4. So I now know that altogether on the weekend, they sold 48,488. My next step is finding out how many more albums sold at the weekend than during the week. So for that, I'm going to have to do a subtraction. So here is the amount of albums sold at the weekend. Here is the amount of albums sold during the week, and I will subtract the week sales from the weekend one. So again, column subtraction. 8 subtract 0 is 8. 8 subtract 2 in my tens column is 6. 4 subtract 3 is 1. 8 subtract 5 is 3. And then 4 subtract 4 would be 0. So that means that at the weekend they sold 3,168 more albums than they sold in the week. And again, if you wanted to check your answer, you could do the inverse. So you would add 45,320 plus 3,168, and that would hopefully give you the total of 48,488. Okay, so over to you then. So on the website, there is a sheet of questions. Some of them will be one-step questions. Others may have more than one step. So make sure you use your rucksack. So read and underline, understand what you're being asked to do. Choose what operation you're going to use, solve the question, write your answer and check it. Okay, good luck. Take care. Bye.